It is Y105, Dubuque's #1 hit music station. I'm Steve Pulaski, and my next guest on my phone line is an acclaimed actor known for his role as Murray on Stranger Things, as well as various other shows like Fleabag and Love. He's also been in a number of movies, most recently Lyle Lyle Crocodile and Strays. He's also a published author. His new book, The Terrifying Realm of the Possible, Nearly True Stories, is billed as a daring and hilariously neurotic literary debut. It just hit shelves in online retailers today. He is the author, Brett Gelman. How are you, Brett?
I'm great, Steve. How are you doing?
I'm doing very well. Congratulations on your first novel, first and foremost, Brett. What is The Terrifying Realm of the Possible?
Well, it's a collection of short stories around 5 characters. There's a child, a teenager, an adult, an older woman, and a person in the afterlife. And it's basically, they're all darkly comedic, and all the characters are wrestling with the big questions of life, and they lose the wrestling match. They're not very good at it.
How did this idea come to be for a book, Brett? Did you have a couple stories in mind and then kind of made it an anthology or kind of made it a collection of short stories, or how did you really get the wheels spinning for this?
I think I was approached by my editor. He emailed me and he said, "Hey, I think you should write a book of short stories. I think you've got that in you. I think you're an author." And I was like, you know what? I agree with you. and it was something that I had wanted to do for a long time. And from there, we sort of built the framework of the book. And then, a lot of these stories, I would take like little autobiographical elements. It's not an autobiography, but, have little ideas that would, come from my life or come from me observing something that would then launch into a full story.
Do you have a favorite short story of the bunch or one that resonates with you maybe a little bit more than the others?
I love all of them, but, if I had to pick a favorite character, I think it'd probably be the older woman, Iris Below, because there's a lot of my mother in her, and I love, and sort of take my mom's craziness and make it even crazier. So that was a lot of fun.
There are some very intricate and even detailed sketches throughout this book, too, Brett. Could you see yourself doing a graphic novel or something of that nature? Do you have any interest in that realm?
I don't know if I'm a good enough drawer in that way that I could draw to make something, elaborate as a graphic novel. But I love drawing, and I'd like to continue to put even more drawings in my books. And I could do a book of drawings and maybe like a kind of a crude graphic novel type of thing.
He is Brett Gelman. Again, his new book, The Terrifying Realm of the Possible, Nearly True Stories, just hit shelves today in online retailers. A few more questions for you, Brett. You've been in a ton of Adult Swim shows. That's how you got put on my radar many years ago, from Eagle Heart to Mr. Pickles. I'll never forget Cheeseman between you and me. How did you first get involved with Adult Swim? Like, how did you first get involved and then become a mainstay of a lot of their productions?
I auditioned for this show called Eagle Heart. I was friends with one of the show's creators, Jason Walliner, and he thought I was, right for the character of Brett on Eagle Heart, which was, it would star Chris Elliott, and I was sort of the dumb sidekick on that show. And from there, once you get on an Adult Swim show, you get to be known by the whole community. And so I started popping up in a lot of things. I did some specials with Jason Wallner that we co-wrote. There are these very crazy dinner specials. So there was Dinner with Brett Gelman and Friends, Dinner with Brett Gelman and Brett Gelman's Family, and Brett Gelman's Dinner in America. I think you can get them on iTunes. That's pretty much the only way that you can find them, maybe on Amazon too. But, they're 3 of the things I'm the most proud of, actually, that not many people know about.
Did anybody ever mistake you for Eric from Tim and Eric? Did you ever get that in public?
Like a couple times, but not too much. People always think that I'm this guy Sipowicz or Sickowicz from some Nickelodeon show. People think I'm him. But, not Eric too many times, but a couple times. When you're a big guy and you got a beard, you suddenly become every big guy with a beard.
Do you prefer voice acting or acting in front of the camera, Brett?
I would say acting in front of the camera, absolutely.
Any particular reason you like acting in front of the camera more?
I mean, it's what I came up doing my whole life, and I like using my body. I like, transforming into a character, taking on a whole role in like that type of immersive way, and then acting with other actors in a space, just doing, I like the whole physical aspect of that, rather than being, I like voice acting, but voice acting is pretty much you're in a booth and, you're basically doing it with your voice. A lot of times the other actors aren't even in there. So, yeah, I don't know. It's just the physical nature of full-on acting in front of the camera or on stage is preferable to me.
I will say, speaking of that, and on that same note, I'd be remiss if I didn't bring up this movie in your catalog, too, the movie Lemon. You co-wrote that movie, and you helped assemble, too, an all-star cast. Everyone from Michael Cera to Rhea Perlman's in that movie. Can you just briefly walk me through how that movie came to be? Because I think that is one of the most, all-star casts for, a comparatively smaller movie in recent time.
Yeah, I co-wrote that with my ex-wife, Janixa Bravo, and we basically, I think Michael Cera was a big reason why that movie got made. It took a long time to get it made, but then Michael was in on he said he would do it from the early stages, from the get-go. So Michael was sort of always the guiding force of getting the financing for that. And getting other cast as well.
Very cool stuff. He is Brett Gelman. Again, his book, The Terrifying Realm of the Possible, Nearly True Stories, is now on store shelves. Brett, I'm going to give you the final word to talk about The Terrifying Realm of the Possible or any other projects you want. The floor is yours, man.
Oh, well, everybody go out and buy my book. I hope, for your sake, you don't see yourself in any of the characters, but if you do, I hope it's some sort of therapy that you get from it.
Brett, you are awesome. I cannot wait to check out the book, and I can't wait to see what's next.
All right. Thank you so much, man.